Hey everybody, I'm Rob Hill with Total Wine and More, and I'm standing in Fermentation Vessel Row here at Ballast Point Brewing Company in San Diego, California. And with me is Jack White, CEO and founder of Ballast Point Brewing. Jack, it's a pleasure to be here.
Nice to meet you. Thanks for coming by.
Absolutely, good to be here. Now I understand that you got started in the home brewing business. In fact, you have a home brew shop here in San Diego called Mart.
Yeah, Brew Mart. I started that in 1992. I was a home brewer prior to that. I actually started home brewing in college with my college roommate at UCLA. So finished up college, tried to figure out what to do. And since we had been home brewing for a number of years, it seemed kind of like the logical thing to try. We were young enough to try something a little bit crazy.
So you have this home brew shop and you're running it for a couple of years, I guess. And then, well, you started a brewery ultimately. How did that happen?
Well, the goal of just about every home brewer is to someday turn their hobby into a living. We did that with Brew Mart. And then, of course, the grander aspiration is to professionally brew. And that was always kind of in the background. The fact that it turned into what we have today is actually a dream come true.
And did you actually ever dream it would be as big as it is today and growing as fast as it is?
No, actually I did not. I knew I wanted to do it. It was, like I said, it was a dream, but where it would take me, I had no idea. What happened was, over the course of time, opening a homebrew shop, I was in a position to kind of collect all this talent. All of the guys kind of like me that were avid homebrewers would come into the shop and we'd talk about home brewing, and I'd end up hiring them. So they'd work for Brew Mart, and then we turned that into a brewery. And so I've over the years collected some tremendous talent. So my job now is more just to kind of create a place for them to do what they're incredibly talented at.
And so the brewery's called Ballast Point.
Right.
That has something to do with San Diego, doesn't it? What's the story behind it?
It does. I wanted it to have a real San Diego feel to it. Even though a lot of people who live in San Diego might not know what Ballast Point is, I went to our local San Diego Historical Society and went into their library, and I kept coming across Ballast Point. And Ballast Point is a historical landmark in San Diego. It's kind of the gateway to San Diego Harbor. They call it the Silver Gate as opposed to the Golden Gate up in San Francisco. So I thought it just had this tremendously rich history, and I felt that would be just really something fun to draw on as a brewery.
You brew several iterations of the IPA style, and that's certainly a popular style. Do you have a favorite?
It's hard. It's like picking a favorite kid.
Right.
You know, it's like they all have different personalities, and you you love them for all those quirky attributes. I like them all, but
depends on the mood and the occasion.
It depends on the mood. I'm a bit of a hophead, so when it comes down to it, I'm usually trading off between our Big Eye IPA and our Sculpin IPA, and then every once in a while when our Dorado comes along, of course, I love that. But I like to drink beer also over the course of a day sometimes. So I think our brewers do a really, really good job at creating lower alcohol, more subtle beers that still have complexity to them, not just throwing out another light beer or something just so it's drinkable. I think we do a good job at that. So our whole portfolio is very diverse, and each beer has its own kind of occasion for being the best beer in our portfolio.
You really have a beer, I would say, for just about everybody who's into beer, depending on where they are in the beer drinking spectrum.
I think so. We go to great lengths to create that diversity in this brewery. We have at least 5 different yeast strains that we use, so we don't just have a house flavor that kind of goes through everything that we do. And then we brew all the way from the lightest of light lagers, not light beer per se, but just like a Helles style, all the way up to an imperial coffee vanilla porter in the Victory at Sea. And everything in between. So we're really proud of that diversity.
Well, we want to take some time to take a tour of the facility, see what all your brewers are doing in action. Jack, thanks so much.
Cheers.